What's up, guys? So today we're in the man cave. Today's just a little video showing the update on the motor. I dropped it off at Swedish and got the engine block steam clean and all that, and then had the cylinders recoated and rolled for now so they don't rust until I can get it to the machine shop. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to take it to the machine shop because I did forget that the forged pistons are 96.5 millimeter, and stock bore is a 96 millimeter. So we're gonna have to get it bored over about a 0.5 millimeter to fit those forged pistons. And there's also a little bit of a ring lip, I guess you should call it, on the cylinders. So don't believe this motor is the original one. The trans did have some salvage paint pin markings. Regardless, the motor didn't smoke, trans shifted just fine, so it may have been another lowish mile transmission, but as far as the motor goes, I don't think it was a 69,000 mile motor, but it still shifted just fine, and the motor, like I said, didn't smoke. But we're going to look into that. As you can see, we are in the man cave. I did have to rearrange some things in here because it didn't be my workstation for a little bit. Brought the pit bike inside, but as you can see here, there's the block. It is cleaned up the best it can be. Oil pan's cleaned up, all that nasty oil buildup, got all that power washed and steamed off. Did paint the accessory bracket, engine mounts, and the water pump pulley. But I do have the water pump here. Gonna do a new water pump. I just didn't feel like separating that pipe yet, but I'm gonna paint this pipe. Got the block paint that's gonna be here this Wednesday, which should be for you guys tomorrow, but for me 3 days. So we're gonna take a look at the bores, and I don't know if you can see there, but that's a pretty decent lip, and all of them are about the same. So we're gonna get that machined over anyways. There should be less than 0.5 millimeter there, obviously, so with the machining it should get rid of all that. They should be able to clean the surfaces up and all that good stuff. But I am going to still paint the block before I take it to them, just because it's what I have and it's something I'm going to do. I can easily touch up any of this stuff that gets messed up by the machining process. I can just touch it back up. So we're going to paint this with POR 15 engine enamel, I guess, and then we're going to do oil pan to match. We're going to do this pipe to match. Just going to paint, not going to go all the way inside here, just going to paint up to the edges, and then I'm going to paint just the seam surfaces here on the front. The bearings didn't look too bad. They're still in there, but we're going to run some different bearings in there. And also did the valve cover here. I did paint that. It's a wrinkle black from VHT. And then I sanded and polished the lettering, taped up the original sticker just so it looks more OEM. But not too bad. Cylinder head is cleaned up. Got to scrape take the studs out, scrape some of the gasket surfaces. Gonna be running titanium studs in here. So she's cleaned up the best she can be. And as far as the build for this engine goes, I think I pretty much have a list of what I'm going to be doing. So let me see if I can pull that out real quick. So what we are going to be doing, it's a decently long list. We're going to be running, there's a couple things on here changed up because I contacted, I think his name's Josh at Yoshi Fab, and talked to him about what I'm going to do to this engine. So we are going to use either his rods and pistons, or we're going to use Wiseco pistons, and maybe the Max Peating rod brand H-beam rods, which is what Drifts and Lifts have used. If you haven't checked them out, just go check them out. He's very knowledgeable on these B230s. So yeah, we're gonna run. See if I can get this computer fired up. pull up some of the stuff. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had to swap out memory cards. So, on my original build, we were looking at doing, you know, the Speeding Parts UK, the 600 horsepower top and bottom end kit, and their whole set HX35 turbo kit, along with some other stuff. Just due to funds being a little tight, I'm going a different route, and we're going to try to at least build it to where it can handle 600 wheel horsepower eventually, but going to stick with running like 400 wheel, maybe 350. It should still be plenty of fun, should be a tire eater. So I decided to go with parts from Yoshi Fab. I'll pull up my cart so you can see what all I have in there. So to start, let me see if I can control zoom. We get a better look at what I got. So I called Josh at Yoshi Fab, I think his name was Josh, and talked to him for quite a little bit. He is very knowledgeable in the red blocks, and it's hard to find, you know, someone in the States that's, you know, knowledgeable and sells products that they produce for these red blocks. So it's not a sponsored video by any means, but go and check out Yoshi Fab and see if they have anything that would suit your need on these red blocks. I have a couple of parts from them. Like my 940, I bought the deluxe crankcase breather kit, which we'll just look at that. It is a nice product. You know, it has a billet valve cap, says Yoshi Fab, and then it, you know, that's the whole catch can bracket, and it's all billet aluminum. It's a beefy unit, that's for sure. So I'll probably mountain mine something like that just to keep it clean. But yeah, he was very knowledgeable, helped me out and steered me in the direction I needed to be in. He asked what power number I was shooting for. I gave him the power number, and he was straight up honest with everything. You know, I was looking at his 50 trim billet turbo, and he said with the turbo technology nowadays, I can go get a different turbo for around the same price that can support the 600 but make 400 easy, and it's, you know, about the same price. It's, I think, 860 for the turbo he told me, which is a Borg Warner 2575 XSE, and it's like 860 and his is like 700. But what we're going to be running is the adjustable cam gear. We're going to be getting another deluxe crankcase breather kit, which I should have pulled off my old wagon, but it needed it, so I left it. So the hydro mount delete engine mounts, the throwout bearing upgrade, which is for a M46 or M47, because I'm going to be running the T5 Mustang transmission. So I'm using the D-Works bell housing adapter, and that is that requires a what do you call it, M46 or M47 bell housing, and then it also adapts it to their T5 trans. As you can see, their nice billet adapter, the sleeve that goes over the input shaft for the throwout bearing, and it says may or may not be in stock, 2 to 4 weeks lead time. So we're going to be running that. His Deca 80-pound short body injectors, which he said should support that. The polyurethane trans mount. This clutch package, which is very expensive, but it is built for the power, and you can get it in the T5 input spline. So no need to look for a custom clutch or anything. He sells everything here. A one-piece billet, I think 1080 steel, 1018 billet steel flywheel. That is 16 pounds, which is 14 pounds lighter than the Volvo dished, and it comes complete with the ring gear and LH 2.4 trigger cut into it, so there's no need for modifications or pressing your old ring gear on. So that makes it a direct bolt-on, super easy, and it should give me all the tolerances and clearance for that T5 trans. So I'll be running that clutch. Their cross members, which are beautiful. Go check out some for the other series Volvos on there, like 240s and all that. They're beautiful. ARP main stud kit, his TPS adapter. If you're running a micro squirt or any standalone, you're going to need that, along with the throttle position sensor and connector that he includes, which is an 850 or 960 style throttle position sensor. And then moving on, we're going to use his plug wires just because they're 8mm. They'll look fine. The micro squirt, he sells it, and also an 8-foot harness, puts you at 403 and there's a wiring diagram for that. Super simple and straightforward. His billet fuel rail, will be running that, and I'll be running AN lines all the way to hopefully a fuel cell in the back, and then we'll be running his ARP head stud kit and also his pistons, which are from, what brand were they? Arias, I believe. They're forged aluminum pistons, which his require a 158 millimeter rod, and they're for a 96.5 millimeter bore. So you will have to bore your motor over to just a half a millimeter to 96.5, which is fine. Like, there's no complaints about that. Of course, as you saw in the beginning of the video, mine needs it anyways. So he sells those turbo stock strokes 80 millimeter, 2.5 stroker, I believe is what it is, 2.5 strokers at 86. And then you have his 158 millimeter H-beam rods, forged H-beam rods, which are needed for those pistons. Only $406 for the set, and he told me that his rods have held up to 400 horsepower, no problem. But he said he's never seen his rods or pistons fail, as far as I know, and I guess as far as he knows. So that is a plus. They should be good enough for if I want to run 600 eventually. So we run those, and that's about it. As you see, the total here is $5,515.96. So it's going to be an expensive build. Yes, you can LS swap for probably that price or a little more. But my thing is, I want to keep it a Volvo engine. I want to, make it look original, even though it's obviously not going to be. Just make it all Volvo. The wheels that we're going to be running, let's see, in case you're wondering, the valve springs too, we're going to be running a IPD turbo cam, but these are the only valve springs. They're in Australia, I believe. They're $78 a set, and they are, let's see. They're 95 pounds seated tension and 185 pounds at 11 millimeters lift. So they should be perfect and not cause any valve float at higher RPMs. So I will be running those. And then the wheels we're going to be running are going to be the Weld, what were they? They're 5x108. And they are the Venturas, 5x108. Let's go to Ventura. And I'm going to run them in 17s or 18s. So these will be the wheels here. It's going to be a different look, that's for sure. They are billet, and they have the black faces. They look like race stars, but they're going to be 18s or 17s all the way around. So it's going to give it a more of a autocross, drift, pro touring look over a drag racing look, because I don't want a drag racing look. I want a pro touring beefy look. So we're going to be running those. And what else am I going to be doing on that? The intake I'm leaving stock. Throttle body should be stock for now. Exhaust manifold. I know everybody said that you can probably look online. Everybody says they suck, but I'll be running the OBX stainless header. I know a guy that does stainless work, so if it doesn't fit, let's do B230FT. If it doesn't fit, I'll have him do some extra work to it and make it fit. Where are you at? I know you're in here. Maybe type of Volvo. Let's see. Volvo OBX stainless header. Yeah, there's one in here somewhere. I have one on my card on my phone. Let's see. It's kind of like this. This is for a 16 valve, but they have one for the 8 valve. They look good. The flanges are thick. So I'm just going to run one, and if it needs work, piping or whatever, to be adjusted, I really don't care. I'm just going to have my guy weld it up. Everything is here. We have flange. We have whatever we need to make it work. Might just have to get some extra stainless piping if I need it. So we're going to run that, and then the exhaust manifold stud. Let's do, I hate how this computer does this. Let's go to the stud. They're titanium studs, I believe they're coming out of Australia as well. Exhaust manifold stud. These are the stainless steel. Could run the stainless steel ones. Those we come from Taiwan. Let's see. Where are you at? Where are you at? It's all on my phone. I don't know why it's so hard to find on this computer. It was cake to find it on my app. So let's just do B230 titanium. Dinner smells good. There they are. So they're coming out of Australia as well. They're titanium studs. It's probably overkill, $100 for studs, but golly, they look so good. And shouldn't have any issue with them rounding off or anything like that. So we're going to be running those. And the manifold that I'll be running, I'm also going to be doing, I don't know if you can see it on my phone, I'll also be running a Melling M181 oil pump. It's supposed to be a little bit higher volume. And here's the manifold for the 8 valve. $376, and it doesn't look bad at all. You can see there, it's pretty nice. Doesn't look too bad. So I'll be running that, and I think it's a T3 flange. So I'll be running it, the turbo's got to be a T3 anyways. So I'll be running that in a T3, and then what else? If I was doing the max peating rods, as you can tell, they're 360 compared to the 409. I know Drifts and Lifts has used these before, and he's been pushing great power through them, and it's very tempting. Might go that route, but for the $40 saved, I don't know. I might go with Yoshi Fab and get it all together. He said it's about a 2 to 3 week lead time, I believe. And then I'll be running these Glyco main bearings and rod bearings in just the standard size because my crank isn't messed up and the block's not messed up, just the bores. Might grab this KL Racing billet pulley. I don't know. Still got the 3 ribs so I can run AC. So, yeah. As you can see there, that's about everything in the cart. If I was running that route, we're looking at $2,000. But, like I was saying with Yoshi Fab, he's got everything that you could need all right there. And it's not bad on the price. The most expensive part is the clutch, and you're also looking at, rods and pistons. Pistons are $700, but $5,500. Add another $100 for gaskets, and then another $200 for bearings and all the other nickel and dime stuff. That should get me sealed back up, and that should get me everything I need to put the motor in. Transmission, there's a guy local that has some Cobra Z T5 transmissions. I'll be running those. They're about $1,100. So I think if I tell him I don't need the bell housing, I might be able to get it for $1,000. So yeah, that's the build list. As you can see, it's not cheap, but since the motor's out, I'm not wanting to build this again, knock on wood. So I'm going to do it right the first time. Get all the quality stuff, get it together, and get this motor all shiny gloss red, all beautiful and stuff, and get it put back in the car. And I'm not going to beat on it a whole lot, but definitely going to let her eat a couple times. So I think that's going to wrap it up here for this video. It's something small and basic, just talking about what we're doing, but I think showing you guys what I will be doing motor-wise with all of this, it might give you guys an idea to help you get your decision made on your red block. But yeah, other than that, there's this intake here from Classic Swede that I printed out. It's 273 American dollars. Probably take a while to get, but it is a manifold ready to bolt on. Just have to weld, I guess, the top half to the bottom half, unless it already comes welded. It might. So might add that to the list just so we have a pretty nice looking plenum in there. So we'll see. That'll be an as we go kind of thing. I just want to get the motor sealed back up and get it back in the car along with the transmission. It's going to be a while. It's probably going to be like, I would say next year sometime by the time I get it together, unless a miracle happens. So there's going to be other content coming out. besides the 740. If you want to stay up to date on the 740 and all the stuff that I do to it, just turn notifications on. It'll let you know when I upload a video. So if you see any 740 update, then the business is happening. So that's probably it for this video. Other content coming, I don't know what. I've contemplated selling the XR50 build just to get this car going, even though I don't want to. I thought about it. It's still in great shape and like brand new, but we'll see. I might keep it. My brother has his pit bike, and they're so much fun to ride. Like every time I get on that, it's way too much fun. Just can't let my, I guess you could say, impatience make me sell it and regret it down the road. Because I mean that bike has a lot of beautiful parts on it, and it is built to a T, like exactly what I wanted in my head. So I don't think I could let that go. It's just, I don't know. I might. Who knows? It might go. I don't know. If anybody's interested, just message me. It would be a local pickup only, so you would have to come pick it up. But I'd make someone a deal. I mean, I have about $3,000 invested in that thing, and obviously I'd be taking a big loss. But maybe $2,000. If you were to drive to me, I might take $1,800. But yeah, it's only got like 20 hours on it. So if anybody's interested, just hit me up and let me know, and we can talk about it. As of now, I probably would sell it. I'll try not to change my mind, but I can't guarantee that. So yeah, if you like this video, like the video, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.